Let's talk about how not to get wrecked on social media.
LOLO BX.
What's up? It's LOLO BX on this episode of Just the Tip. I'm gonna have a quick chat about social media, the pitfalls, what to watch out for, and hopefully give you a few tips to help you out if you're struggling with any of these things in any way. I'm not really going to go into any tips on marketing or any specific social media techniques. My approach is very basic. I'm not a wizard by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not really gonna tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing in terms of content and marketing strategies on social media. It's more of a holistic mindset discussion about how you can maybe reframe your approach to social media and how much power you let it have over your emotions and your self-worth and the way that you view yourself as an artist and as a person in general, because I think we all fall into traps along the way, and sometimes it's worth taking a step back and actually questioning our mindset and maybe reframing the way we look at things and why we do certain things and whether they're actually necessary. So a quote I heard recently that really sums up my point in this whole video is, when it comes to social media, you want your boat in the water, but you don't want the water in your boat.
Talk to him.
Does that make sense? We all know that we need social media as artists in this day and age. I don't need to go all Gary Vee and tell you how much you need to be on the stuff, because we all know we're all on it right now. It's definitely become ingrained as part of our lives, and I by no means am against social media. We've all seen the viral videos that go around telling us how bad it is, and our parents and our older family members all tell us how evil it is, on how pointless it is, and I've always hated people that take that approach and just sort of immediately written them off as dinosaurs and people who have no idea, especially people that aren't artists that don't need to use it to promote themselves. Like, you've probably all had friends that have deactivated their Facebook accounts and sworn against it and whatnot, which is cool, all well and good for them, but some of us actually need to use social media, so it's worth looking at the way we do use it and make sure that we don't let it have too much power over our self-worth and how we actually value ourselves or our progress in our careers. So you want to be on social media, definitely. You want to use it as much as you can to your advantage, but you don't want to let it use you. That's what I take from that quote. You don't want to let your social media image affect the way that you view yourself as a person, because let's be honest, like, it's friggin' hard, and it's only getting harder these days on social media to get reach at all. Speaking from experience, I've been at it a few years now, and my music career, if you can call it that, has definitely been through some peaks and troughs. My social media accounts have grown steadily over the years, but there's been times where I've taken time off, and as you probably know, that hurts engagement somewhat. So these days my engagement isn't through the roof. If you look at my follow account to engagement ratio, it's probably really bad, but I don't really let that bother me anymore, and it's not because I don't give a shit. It's that I've learnt that it's not worth stressing over these types of things. Like, there's kids today that post to Instagram and delete the photo an hour later because they're embarrassed by the amount of likes that the photo got. If you've got something to say, if you've got something to post it up there, and what will be will be. We should really not be stressing over stuff like this. So there's that, and then there's the other obvious thing, which is comparing yourself to everybody else, which isn't only a music thing, it's not only an artist thing, it's everybody. Like, kids, teenagers, adults alike, they're comparing each other to people's polished images on their Instagram. We all know that social media isn't always real. People always put their best self on their Instagram profile. Sometimes they might take 100 photos to get that one perfect candid beach photo. We can't be comparing our average self to somebody else's highlight. It's not really attainable. I don't really have to speak too much on this matter. Just wanted to get that out there. And just know, when it comes to comparing yourself to somebody else, we're all on our own journey, and it shouldn't be a competition. Things happen in peaks and troughs, as I said. Some people progress quicker than others. Coming from me and my personal experience, there's plenty of guys and girls that I sort of started out with years ago that have blown up. I had to sit there and watch that happen, and if I was bitter about that, that would have just eaten me up inside. Like, we should be happy to see our peers succeeding, but I know it's very easy to be jealous and envious and then downright bitter about somebody else's success, and I see it all the time. You see it in comment sections, you see it everywhere. People are like, oh, this person's only famous because he's friends with X, his manager knows this manager and they got signed to the label. Welcome to life. Before social media, there was a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. We can't be bitter at that. That's just the game. All we can do is focus on ourselves, focus on our craft, focus on our own content, put it out there as best we can. What will be, will be. When it comes down to it, you should be focusing on things that you can control. It's really wasted effort, stress, and emotion when you worry about things out of your control. I've had plenty of shit happen to me over the years. I've missed out on opportunities, or I've been screwed over by this person or that person. In the moment, yes, it sucks and you get bitter. There came a point where I really had to knuckle down and say, I need to focus on me and what's in my control. It's really dangerous to focus on that stuff. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot base your self-worth on how many likes your post gets on social media. My engagement goes through peaks and troughs. Your engagement will go through peaks and troughs, not only because of inactivity, but because things like algorithms. Because it's such a crowded market today, there's so many people on social media, the platform can't fit everything you post in all of your followers' news feeds. That's just the way it is. They have to tweak their algorithm over and over again. And there's definitely guys, and it's especially the guys that do it full time, that have a lot of content to post. Like if someone's constantly on tour and they've got tour videos, tour photos, they've got show footage, they've got constant releases because they're doing it full time. Those type of people tend to perform way better on social media because that's just how the cookie crumbles. They've got more content, they can engage more people more frequently, their engagement sort of snowballs and their following grows with it, and that's just how it goes. The rest of us who are either in school or have full-time jobs, or maybe we're just going through a rough patch, we're not finishing enough music or enough content, your interaction will decline over time. You can always build it back up. Whether it's down here or up here, you shouldn't really let that get to you. Even those guys that are really killing it, if they let that get to their head, they turn into assholes. We've all seen it happen. It's dangerous either way. If I was to summarize my advice to anybody on social media, it would be definitely use it to the best of your ability. Try different things, work out what works, what doesn't work, do your research, watch a heap of videos and read some articles on the best practices. It's always changing, so try to keep up with the trends. Use it as much as you can, but don't let it use you. Don't let it ruin your day. It shouldn't really have an effect on your emotion at all, which is easier said than done, I know, but if it's ruining your day, I think it's time to really reassess your relationship with it and the emphasis you place on your online interactions. Don't let it get you down. We all go through the hard times. Don't compare yourself, and especially don't compare your engagement to someone who's bigger than you at the moment. Just work on what you're doing. Start with your friends and family, build that up, and just keep putting out content, keep being consistent. I'm not really going to give any marketing advice because I'm not really the strongest social media person out there, but if there's one piece of advice I can give you from my experience is to just be consistent. I've been doing this for a few years now, and there's been times where I've sort of not even taken a break, but struggled with writing music or finishing music and really having enough ideas for content, which personally I worked out was just me overthinking things and putting expectations on myself that were just unrealistic. The more years I spent making music, the more pressure I put on myself to make good music, rather than relying on the skills that I had developed over the years and just making what came to me and what was within my ability. I was somehow expecting me to make something that was out of my reach every time I sat down at the computer to write a song, and that just slowly snowballed and built up all this pressure. It just got worse over time, and it got to the stage where I was sitting on 50 unfinished songs. That was before I started making these videos, and the fact that I was able to sort of look at myself and say, like, what is wrong here? And I spent a lot of time analyzing my whole approach to how I did things, and I made a lot of breakthroughs after reading and watching a heap of videos and sort of questioning why I did this or how I did that. And that is what sort of made me want to start making these videos so I can share these small things. They definitely do sound like small things, and to some people they're not relevant because we don't all have the same problems or the same issues, and we're all at the same stage of our careers or on our journeys. But if I can help somebody else, that's cool. That's the only reason I make these videos. I don't make videos with like the most searched titles, or I don't research what topic I think will get the most views. I really just have a notebook, and when I think of an idea, I make a list. I've got a whole bunch of ideas to cover, and I just wanted to break them down into short videos. I'm not really looking to sell a course or anything like that. I'm just putting videos up here to hopefully help other people. And the messages I've been getting have been awesome, and it's good to know that they actually are helping people, because I do get a lot of messages. I get the cool comments every now and then, but I get a lot of DMs on all of my profiles from people that watch the video, which is cool. Like, it's really good to know that it's beneficial to somebody, and that means I'll keep on keeping on. Some of these videos I might talk about things that you already know. A lot of it might be common sense to other people. They were definitely things that I found that I really need to straighten up in my own game. That's why I'm sharing them. Shameless plug, I've got a new single and music video dropping this Friday, 24th of May. It's been so long coming. Independent release, doing it all myself. I animated the music video myself, taught myself how to do all that stuff. It took me months to make this video. I'm so stoked on how it turned out. Keep an eye out for that one. Keep an eye out for plenty more of these type of videos coming in the coming days and weeks. Hit the sub button, hit the bell, hit the like button if you want to help me out. Leave a comment if you've had any experiences or have any ways that you approach social media to avoid any of these pitfalls. That's it from me. Until next time, peace.
LOLO BX. Gucci bandana like I'm 2 Chainz.